order. Tonight is June 5th, 2019, 7 p.m. Has everybody had a chance to take a look at tonight's agenda?
Yes.
Any comments, questions?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Dan with a motion to approve.
Second.
Pat with a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, on to consent agenda. Anybody have any questions on tonight's consent agenda?
No.
Good.
All right, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda.
I'll second.
I have a second, and all in favor?
Aye.
All right, and we have IPS Solar here tonight. Oh, all right, and we'll go ahead and strike that. Move on to the next, approval of bills. Anybody have any questions on tonight's bills? I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the bills minus Thielen Machine.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I'll make a motion to approve Thielen Machine.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Abstain.
Okay. And on to amending ordinances, administrative offense and penalty. I got ordinance 2019-3, Title 7, Chapter 71 of the City Code, recreational vehicle parking. Everybody had a chance to review the proposed change?
Yeah, I have.
All right. By hearing no objections, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve ordinance 2019-3.
Second.
Troy, second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, on to the next one. We have ordinance 2019-4, ordinance amending Title 9, Chapter 92 of the City of Eden Valley City Code. This is the Chapter 92 nuisance and parking and storage. Any comments, questions?
No.
All right.
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 2019-4.
Pat,
Second.
motion? Sure. And with the second, all in favor? Aye. All right, on to ordinance number 2019-5, ordinance amending Title 15, Chapter 153 of the City of Eden Valley City Code. This is to amend, this would be the rental code for Chapter 153 rental code 153-06, license being required. Comments? All right, hearing none, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve 2019-5.
I second that.
Jim, second. All in favor?
Aye.
And that brings us fee schedule. Through, basically, in addition to the fee schedule, we've got cleaning up litter. First offense, $45, second offense, $75, and third offense, $105. That's the only change, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2019-16.
Well, I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thinking of you, Charlie, write that down.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support.
All right, we're on to boards and commission reports. So, Darren wasn't able to make it here tonight, but it looks like we've got the rental compliance and zoning report. Zoning, we have a home occupation permit application that was approved. And then for rental, he's got listed here that he's got 4 inspections.
Excuse me.
Oh,
I'm sorry, he has two, and you have them in front of you, planning and zoning, under planning and zoning. He has 2, the school district has a remodel in addition to the school that he should have in front of you. It's, he has approved this, or he is looking for your approval as well. And at the bottom, the remarks are pending payment, they've paid that. And this is a small addition to the elementary school.
And if I recall correctly, this is part of that larger remodeling project for the school district. One thing I did want to point out here, Cindy, I don't know, this, on the Eden Valley School District, the second page of the staple here, just a small formality here. You got, by singing this form, I don't know if Mark Messman wanted to sing the form, so.
I'll let Darren know to switch his document.
All right. Other than that, everything looks good. Anybody have any questions?
No.
Then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the site permit for the Eden Valley School District, 298 Brooks Street North.
Second.
Yeah, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and we have another one here for Assumption Church.
And that's for the addition. They'll be using it for the narthex and a social hall, but it's a large addition to the current church. And he has, Darren has approved that as well, and is requesting your approval.
Anybody see any issues, concerns?
And then they're gonna put a lien on the garage?
I think this is.
That's a different one.
No,
That's
that's
a
a
different
different, you need to just, this is
Yeah.
on here.
That's why I think it's two.
Yeah, and this is just a map that goes with it, yeah.
Oh, got it.
All right, go ahead and make a motion to approve the site permit for the Assumption Church of Eden Valley.
I'll second.
Dan, second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and
This one that says E at the top is really just, the person who's at 554 State Street is requesting to put in a fence behind a garage, and she wants to put it on the current property line, which we are the neighbor. So we have to, we're not approving the site plan, that will go before our zoning administrator. As a neighbor, we have to approve allowing our neighbor to put it on their current property line. This particular neighbor is purchasing some land, which will make this a moot point in about 2 months, but they want to put the fence up now. So in order to do that, they have to have approval from their neighbor to put the fence on the property line. The city is the neighbor, so I'm just requesting that you approve allowing her to have it on the current property line, not the future property line, but the current one. Did that make sense?
We're gonna do renovation through there, I would wait on the west side of that fence, my personal feeling.
On her property line?
Well,
This is her property.
She's going up to the property, right?
No, this
Up to
is
the
her
property line.
current property
Right,
line.
yeah, she's going up to the current property.
oh,
Correct, she wants the fence to go right along
okay,
the
so that's
current.
the current property line, not
Yes.
the original perceived property line.
should be fine.
Correct.
Okay,
That's
all right,
correct.
okay, that's what I wanted to
Yeah,
make sure.
yeah, this isn't the portion that is
Being sold.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got footage there,
We were
so.
also in agreement to trim that tree that will be possibly in that area, but
Okay,
we'll
well,
take a look at it.
we'll talk to her about that through this process.
So Jim, you were saying something about maybe hold off until they're.
No, should be
Should we
fine. We'll
fine?
talk. We'll
Okay,
talk.
all right.
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't either.
So I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve her proposed, or, I don't know.
We're only approving that our neighbor can put a
Yeah.
fence on
Okay.
a property, on the property line.
That we are a neighbor of. Okay,
Yep,
well,
yeah.
yeah, then I'll just make a motion to, be that, give that approval.
All right.
There we go.
Second.
All right, second, all in favor?
Thank you.
All right.
Now you can finish the rental portion.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Let's see, and then, then he's got the rental 4 inspections for June and 6 inspections for July. So that is it. Then on to parks.
I'm up.
How you doing tonight, Randy?
Hello, everyone. I'm Randy Hanson with the Park Board. So we had our meeting this evening, and just to give you a few updates on that. Things are coming along very nicely. The building's looking good. The concrete's in, electrical's almost completed. Sounds like there'll be some electrical inspections next week. Splash pads moving along. We got the health department's permit to continue on that, so that's something that we needed. The board had discussion on pickleball courts and tennis courts and, what should we really do there. Darla did some research on that, and it was, recommendations that just go with the pickleball courts, because tennis courts just don't get used like they used to. So we're gonna do 4 pickleball courts, and there'll be a basketball court over there as well. So that was our park board decision to move ahead on that. Let's see. We're also going to be working on some fundraising. We need to raise some more funds for the project. So that'll be a project that we started right away. Be sending letters out to companies and organizations and try to raise some more funds for the project. Any questions?
So I assume that means that all the grant monies have been spent that need to be spent, so we don't lose the grant?
Oh, go ahead, Cindy. Maybe you could.
We're sending this week, now that the bills have been approved, we have $100,000 worth of bills that we can send, and then we should meet that requirement of where we have to be now. So it won't be all of the grant money won't have come in, but it'll get us to that point where we aren't worried about losing grant money.
Okay.
Yeah,
Excellent.
it's exciting.
And certainly be a nice addition to our city once that's completed.
So would it be too early to kind of put like a timeline and when we think things will be wrapping up out there?
Dan, you have any
It's
thoughts?
too early to put a
Too early to
timeline,
tell?
especially the way the year is going so far, it's wet. Contractors are busy, but it's progressing very well.
Yeah.
Things
No.
are coming together.
Don't get me wrong, I think the progress out there, despite the weird weather we're
Yeah,
having so
all the
far,
wet
has
weather.
been phenomenal. Just,
Yeah. But it's
Been asked.
looking really nice.
So Randy, how much do you think we're kind of short that we're gonna look at fundraising for this area of the
Yeah, our
project?
initial thought on that is around 53,000.
Okay, just so people can have an idea
Yeah.
of what we're looking to raise.
Yeah, approximately 53,000. That's what it's
Okay.
looking like right now. I think if we do the right kind of campaign and, get promotional material out there, showing some photos, I think we could get some organizations, some corporations that would like to, be a part of that.
What part of the project are you guys short on at this point?
It's gonna be a splash pad and, be the pickleball tennis court, not the tennis court, pickleball basketball court area.
Okay.
And
Fencing.
fencing. Yep. All right.
anything else?
Thank you, Randy.
Yep, you're welcome. Thank you.
Randy. On to, let's see, EDA. I don't have anything to Strand. Got a new name for it, Ken.
Okay.
All right, 2018 street improvement project.
Thank you. As you can see, the wear course went down, got finished today. And pretty much the only remaining work on the project is odds and ends, backfill lines and curves, seed, some gravel here and there, things like that. Back to our meeting last week, we talked about those three sewer services that were plumbed a little funny when they were originally built. We were able to fix this one next to City Hall, and they started digging down next to the one up by the post office, and they hit groundwater before they even got close. So we had sort of a circle of phone calls go amongst city staff and some other folks, and we basically decided the contractor was telling us that in order to get down to that service and fix it, it was gonna be about $10,000 in dewatering costs per location. So that was in addition to the, I think they shot us a number of $9,500, and I negotiated with them to push that number down a little bit between the last meeting and now. But just talking with staff, we decided it just wasn't worth it to chase those. Since they've been built, we haven't had any problems with them. We know what they look like, we know how they're plumbed right now. So that's where we left it at the time. So the two up at the post office and south end of town did not get replumbed. Otherwise, I don't have a whole lot to report on the 18 project unless you guys have any questions about the progress or the work or anything like that. We do have a pay request. Yes. This pay request is for work approved, work completed through May 24th. The amount is $93,248.21.
Water, street commissioner?
Well, I went the road, it looks on it.
Good. All right.
I went to check that chunk of sidewalk out on the way back. I'm waiting, looks like it got replaced.
We're good.
Okay?
This just does not have anything after the 24th.
Correct.
So the paving and all that.
This payment does not include any of the paving that has happened
Okay.
recently, so the next one will be a significant amount as well to include all that pavement, so. Anything else on that one? I've got an update on Highway 22 as long as we're here. Last month we talked about slab jacking. I did get another quote for that. And at this point, I guess I'm just seeking council permission to kind of proceed with that 30-foot test strip, see how it looks, and then if we're satisfied with that, pull the trigger on taking care of the rest of the settled sidewalk along the highway.
Did we get an estimate on how much it's gonna be running?
The city's not paying for it.
Music mayors.
Okay.
What 30-foot chunk are you looking at?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe down by the railroad, maybe by Jack's driveway, something like that. We could find a spot, I think.
Yeah, take one, drop a quarter.
Yeah,
Somewhere a little bit less.
less conspicuous?
Yeah, we don't want to do it right downtown if we can help it, if we're not satisfied with the results.
Were you gonna try both or just the one?
That's not a bad idea.
Be interesting. I don't personally know a lot about that limestone one, but
We certainly could.
So what are the two options, limestone and?
Yeah, the one outfit uses concrete grout, and they both pretty much operate the same way, where they drill a hole and pretty much blow it or pump it in there. And the other one was a pulverized limestone.
That's dry then, or it's a slurry also?
It's gotta be dry when they blow it in, I think. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. You guys,
once they do it.
you guys are okay with it? Yeah.
They're good. We'll make it happen.
All right, and right before you take off on us here, I need a motion on paying the
motion to pay the pay request here.
I second that motion.
Jim was second. Got the first, all in favor? Aye. Okay. All right. Anything else, Ken?
Back to that slab deck one more time.
Yeah.
If we're happy with the results, do we want to wait until the next meeting to proceed, or do we gather up the street commission and Jim and scratch our heads and see what we think?
I'd be okay with deferring that to,
Yeah, since we're so close to Valley Days.
We'll want to work around that for sure.
Yeah. Although the second hand thought on that is, it would be nice if it was fixed by Valley Days, so not having to worry about.
yeah.
I don't think he'd get that done that quick.
Probably not.
I don't think he'd get into that, they'd say a month out probably.
Well, the folks I've talked to were even talking about maybe Saturdays because it's less disruptive. Thoughts on that? Maybe it's not less disruptive, you would know better than I.
I don't think Saturdays is.
Just do your regular working.
Just do it.
I would think. Don't do Saturdays, that's kind of a.
Saturday's probably busy.
Okay,
Yeah.
It's
Down there. Yeah.
Down there.
Oh, yeah, down there.
yes.
But yeah, when do you plan on doing the test trip, the test chunk?
I'll get a hold of these guys and
Yeah.
see.
I think that's what Jim was saying, if you're gonna do a test chunk, that Saturdays is not the time to do it. Down by Jack's.
That's true. Yes.
Up here.
Just any Saturday, don't do that.
Right.
Just do it during the week.
Weekdays and we'll make it happen. Very good. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Ken. Okay, on to, Public Works, Jim.
Just busy. Getting ready for Valley Days here shortly. Irrigating, working on streets, we'll be painting here shortly. Hopefully get that in before Valley Days. Otherwise, I really didn't have time to prep too much other stuff. Guess you got something else for me.
Manhole on Coleman. Have you seen that one? No, in between, where like, be 533 and the mailboxes down that way.
Okay.
There's a 4.5 inch dip.
Yes, we know that.
Yep.
We're gonna put the camera down there, storm through the line, see what's going on.
It looks like it's infiltrating from the casting.
Correct.
Just happened to see it.
No, we've.
And it's migrating, but yeah, if you know about it, that's fine.
And then with all the rain that we've got, Jim, we said okay with the treatment facility out there?
Doing our best, yes, we're doing fine.
Okay. All right, and then on to, let's see, public forum. We have a few people out here over here tonight would like to speak.
I have to say their name.
Yeah. Yeah, if you could, you state your name and address for the record.
Yes. My name is Michael T. Clayton, and I live
You
in...
might wanna.
Big it away from your mouth a little.
We can hear it if you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear regardless, you won't use yours out.
Okay, just put it back.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, my name is Michael T. Clayton. I live at 565 Willow in Eden Valley here, and I have two issues that I would like to bring in front of the City Council. But before I do that, I just wanted to thank all of you for all of your hard work and all that you do for the City of Eden Valley. And my wife and I love living here, and we just wanted to start with that. So the first issue I wanted to bring to the attention is the appearance of the empty lots in the Sunny Meadows development. Last year, the lots were only mowed twice. And I understand that there's a city ordinance for grass cutting length, and it's been 1.5 feet, 2 feet, and weeds and rodents everywhere. And also I guess the beautification of the neighborhood goes down the longer the weeds get, in the neighborhood, And I wanted to ask about, is the city planning on doing things? Maybe you already have things in motion that I don't know about, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And then I just want to also think about opportunity cost of lost tax, of the lost tax revenue of empty lots. If we could get houses in there, then the city makes more taxes, or makes more money to do all the things and perhaps pay for parks and that kind of thing. And let's see, the second issue was regarding neighborhood speed limits. My wife and another neighbor were outside, and there are several kids, young kids, who live in our neighborhood, and there are cars driving through the neighborhood very quickly, almost too fast, and I don't want to say that they almost hit kids, but the potential of hitting young kids is there. I know that the statutes for speed zones in the city here are probably listed digitally on the website and in paper form, but what other things does the city council do, or others, to tell people about speed limits in neighborhoods? So that's a question for the city council, and that's all that I have to say. Do you have any questions for me, or clarifications, or?
All right, well, the speed limit stuff, we just follow basic state guidelines. If it's in a residential area and it's not posted, it's 30 miles an hour.
Okay.
Anybody with driver's license should have been taught that.
Yep. And so if cars are going faster than that, what is something that we can do to help enforce, is there anything?
Well, the best thing you probably do is if you can grab license plates,
Okay.
vehicle description. I
Okay.
think we've had a couple down there, we've talked to them, I don't know if it's the same ones, Troy, you live down there too. Well, this we've had a couple complaints from neighbors down there, we have talked to some of the kids, but I don't know if it's the same vehicle, so the best thing, if you can grab a plate number, grab a picture of the car,
Okay.
something that can help us, I mean, we can surely talk to them. Now, if they're going at excessive speed, it's to the point of carelessness, and you wanna sign a complaint, we can issue citations too, but
Mhm.
if we don't witness it, you're gonna have to be the complainant on that, so.
Okay.
We have no trouble doing that,
Yeah,
so.
okay.
The other idea is if you get some, they make, some different signs for, slow down, kids that play, I mean, some of that stuff in neighborhoods do help too, because it obviously, the visual display helps.
Yep.
Like the flashing signs you see when you come into town, when you automatically hit the brakes, I mean, they do work.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like visual display sitting in there, it's like, hey, slow down, kids that play, so try to get some of that maybe out in the neighborhoods.
Mhm.
If we sit down there, it's not gonna happen, I'll tell you, you sit down, they're gonna see, everybody's gonna
Right.
find the second I'm not there, it's gonna be NASCAR on there, I get it.
Yeah.
So get some plate numbers, get some vehicle descriptions, get that stuff to me, Michael, and we'll sure try to address it best we can.
Okay, great. Any questions on issue number 1, or things that you guys are doing or working on?
As far as like, the grass stuff, Jim and Cindy, we talk to the owners of those lots, and tell them, you gotta come out here and mow it. I don't think we've ever mowed it ourselves, have we? They usually come out there and do it after we've asked them to.
I think where the issue lies with that, because the previous year, that was only 3 times.
Twice last year, only.
The year before.
Oh, the year before that was, okay.
And I think what happens a lot of times too is the residents get irritated because of the dandelions, the weeds, the growth.
Yep.
So then they cut a majority of them. So then when they do come in to cut, the lots are all different sizes and all that. I mean, they were there last weekend.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
On a
yep.
Thursday night.
Yep.
And they're already over 6 inches,
Mhm.
And I guess this is an issue that's been ongoing. And I guess where I would be at is, we need to start, if we have ordinances, I guess, for our rental and everything else, I think we need to enforce this one as well, because it is a pain. You have noxious weeds in there,
Mhm.
and everybody's just kind of getting sick of it. And I think that's where the group of the residents got involved, and
Yep.
that's,
Jim and I did talk about it, and we're trying to work on a plan for when there's a vacant owner. an owner of a vacant lot and they don't live here, how we can come up with a plan that's workable. It's my neighborhood too, I live over there. But so that we can make it workable and plan something in January with them and maybe come up with a plan that keeps it mowed at the same length that we expect you and I to have. So,
That would be much
yeah,
appreciated.
and move forward and hopefully make it work. I can't say it'll be done next week and we'll all be better, but we're working on it.
I think the problem is it's been an ongoing issue.
Yes,
It
and
doesn't
so
get
we're trying
settled,
to make
so
it.
it needs to get sped up. I mean, it's definitely an income revenue for the city otherwise. And then you write them a letter, you know, that's it, we're done.
I think on that, instead of writing multiple letters, writing one letter. If your grass is 6 inches long, it's going to get cut. If you don't cut it, it's going to get cut.
And if
That's
we
the
need
plan.
pictures to show them, I have pictures that you can attach in water.
Well, and, you know,
That is the plan, is to come up with one way of doing
Yeah.
it, so that, yeah, sending a letter every month, and then by law, they have X number of days, and then we're into the next month, and then send the next letter, you know, so that we're doing one time thing, and then it's their responsibility to get it taken care of, or we just mow it, you know.
Well, can we address the issue of having them spray those lots to get rid of those noxious weeds?
When you're gonna ask them, them doing are totally two different things. And that the problem is they're not building on them, they're not doing nothing with them, it's just getting to be. And then you
The
guys,
city's losing.
and that neighborhood puts on one heck of a national night out. And the residents cut that for that. That's the other issue.
Yep.
So,
And cutting or spraying weeds doesn't necessarily take care of the height issue.
but being we've had a wet year, it grows like a weed.
And the mosquitoes. have
But just to let you
started.
know, we did have a conversation, Jim and I had a conversation, how to make this a little easier than a letter and then 2 days and then another, because obviously it's a continual problem, so.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
all right, anybody else?
I have to stand up there.
Hi, my name is Dennis Nye. I live in 291 Rails Avenue. My problem is with the lowland that I own and you guys own. This lowland got flooded out this spring when we had a backup down here at 55. It came back up and went into the lowland. It never emptied. It can't empty. There's no place for it to go. Something's wrong when they did work down here on this Dollar General store. The water will not go out anymore. The culvert's full. The other part of this is, this lowland is tied into this here land that the city owns, where the splash pad is going. Where's the water from the splash pad supposed to go? Into this swamp? I call it a swamp, it's a lowland. How can it go in there when it's plumb full right now?
We've been actively discussing that on how to get that drained out. And I believe, Jim, I think we finally got some path forward on that. And now it's down to, the age-old question, who's gonna pay to fix the ditch in 55 there so everything starts flowing again? So that's where the question is. I mean, we have a remedy for it. You get that ditch in front of the Dollar General there, where the water flows out of there again. It'll pull all the water out from back there from Myers Pond and from the lowland area by your house and by Fairways Park there. It'll all start coming out. Yeah, it's just this weird. This the weird weather we had this year, having inches of rain on top of
Well,
inches
it
of rain.
won't drain. It would drain years ago, but now it does not drain. So what happened from years ago to now is the construction down there. And also, how much water is supposed to come from this splash pad? And I don't mind it if it goes into the city's part of the pond.
Yeah,
but part of that's mine.
yeah, it's not gonna be as much as you probably think it would be, where it would alter the water table. You know, as long as it's, you know, there's a flow coming out of there that would end up eventually into, you know.
Well, it's got a flow, period, and then, right now, it doesn't. It's a mosquito trap, but, yeah, that's a problem. Another problem is, when that pond fills up, which it is, the people on 22, their basements let down there. I'm sure if you drove on 22 to Litchfield or any place out there, you see these hoses coming out of these houses. The reason for that is that pond is full. Once the pond will go down, their problem goes away.
So, question for Kent and Jim, is there anything that says we can't, you know, we couldn't rent a pump and pump some of that water out of there? If we had a place to put it, or send it to?
You have to do DNR permit, I think, which isn't the end of the world. Those-
Why we have to get a DNR permit if the water is supposed to run out of the main? You know, I know dealing in DNR.
I know, we went through this, Dan, once before when it got plugged up.
Yeah,
And the water, well, it's a lowland and a wetland. Mine is a wetland considered. And it's supposed to have a natural flow through here, but the natural flow got plugged up, remember? And that's where we sitting now, about the same way, about the same deal. It just doesn't go out. And something went wrong down there.
Well, we are aware of it, you know,
Okay.
we own a good chunk of that low line area back there too, you know, and.
Like I said, I don't mind you putting it in yours.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree, I mean, it flowed out of there before, and.
Right.
You know, and there was a structural change to well, there was an alteration to the
Right.
ditch there by Dollar General. And, you know, we're looking at, well, we've got pretty much a remedy on how to work that. It's just now coming down to who's gonna foot the bill to have it done.
Okay. I just said,
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying, is that the splash pad's fine. It's just that I'm worried about, oh man, we're putting more water in. We're putting water into a full cup already,
yeah,
and that could be a problem. All right, thank you.
yeah.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you, Dennis. All right. Next.
Don Early. I live on 298 Rails Avenue, across the street from Dennis. My pump quit, I got a sump pump in my basement, it quit for about 2 days, and it hasn't quit since. You know, I pump it into my backyard, well, my backyard's a big swamp. And that wetland that they put in over there by the Dollar General, why they put it in there, you got a big wetland behind them, what they put that damn thing in there for? You know, I don't understand that part. All it is a mosquito catcher. I didn't think your fix there on Highway 55, I don't think that's gonna fix it at all. Because I was at the meeting with Jim with the contractor and the Meeker County guy and the guy from that's our it's with Steve Schmitz, I don't know, whatever he is. And they said, oh, we'll do this. Well, I don't think that's gonna fix it if the water ain't running out. You know, it's not gonna run out. He said that they put the jetter in there, they jetted it out. Well, when they jetted it out, the water all run back. What good is it gonna do to dig it out by 55? Maybe I'm wrong. And then last I know, the water don't flow uphill. Right? Maybe I've got too much concern there, but I only got a little bit of backyard. when it got goofed up before, I was in there then, the water went out after they dug it out. And ever since then, who knows what's going on now? The contractor said he never did nothing with the main part of it, where he understood it. Well, somebody did something, I don't know who. It's just, you know, it's not a good deal. I mean, if it was your house, would you want to deal with it? If my pump pukes, excuse the language, if it kicks can, quits working, what's going to happen? Is my basement going to be filled up? Is it not going to fill up? What's the chances of which one? Which would you think is going to happen? I would shut it off to see what's going to happen. Because do I want to deal with that? Not really. I don't want to deal with either one of them. But like I said, the only good thing that came about that store going in there, that they dug the color out underneath 55 when it was froze up, so the water could go out. Other than that, it's been a, you know, the deal, what they put in there is it's a big mosquito catcher for me. Well, they had a big wetland behind them, why did they use that for their credit? I mean, maybe their property line's about this far beyond the culvert that goes underneath there. They could have just used that whole thing. They wouldn't have dug no more, but that's my opinion, but I'm not, you know, I'm just giggling, so. Whatever, I just, you know, I'm a concerned citizen because I don't want to be a jerk. Maybe it sounds like I'm being a jerk, but if it was your houses, would you feel the same way?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, no, I recognize you're frustrated, and, you know, yeah, if I lived right next door to you.
The only reason I knew about the meeting was because I called Jim at home, and he said they were gonna have a meeting the next day. So I took off 3 hours of work from my work to go to the meeting, see what was gonna happen. You know, well, it's just gonna be a Band-Aid what they're gonna do now. I'm thinking, but maybe I'm wrong, I'm not yeah, you know, I don't. If you look at it, when it's dry, you come from Painesville this way, look from that pole towards the driveway, it slopes this way. From the pole that way, it slopes towards the creek. Well, it always floats it used to always float toward the creek before, and the guy from the Meeker County wetland, ain't that what he was, or he said that, or whatever he is, conservation or whatever he is, he said that, well, if we get the water to flow into that creek, then somebody else has to deal with it. Well, they would have had to deal with it before, because that's where it always used to go. I mean, it don't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. I mean, I'm not a rocket scientist, and you ain't, nobody is. It's just frustrating. I mean, I said my piece, I better get that, you know. I called you, I called him, and nobody answered their phone, so I called him at home, and I didn't leave no message at either one of yours. What do, you know? If it don't go out, if it doesn't go out, then this winter I'm gonna have to put it in, do something with it so it goes in the city sewer, because what happens in the winter, you pump it out on the lawn, right? What's it gonna do, freeze up? Pipe's gonna freeze. Then what? If the water don't go down. Am I wrong? Right? Maybe I'm just being, you know, stupid, but
No, and yeah, and we,
something's gotta get done.
yeah, and we are aware of it, and, you know, Jim's been working on it, you know, and, you know, we're trying to get that fixed there, you know.
I hope so. Whatever, that's why I'm here, just bitching, complaining, crying, moaning. I don't usually do that, but when it comes to personal property and your own house, or your own, what you already paid for 40 years for, 30 years, whatever it is, you don't want to lose it, right? Am I wrong? Nobody wants to do that. Hopefully, the city can do something. Either that or then we'll find some dynamite.
Well, I hope you don't go to that.
I shouldn't say that.
No, I appreciate, I really do appreciate you coming in and talking, voicing your concern, your frustration.
Well, I already did it with Jim, because can't you see the deer burning already? Hey, Jim.
We're fine.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Next.
I'm Patrick McCartney, I live 196 Meeker Avenue East. My thing is with my water bill. I came in, I know I'm not good at paying it, I'm not saying I am. But when I came in last to pay it, I was told that it would bring me current to May. Now I get a bill that's saying I still owe for April, and I'm just trying to go figure out how am I being told that I'm good to May, and then all of a sudden I owe for April again. And like I said, I'm not saying I don't want to get money to do, and I'm not trying to deny that, but I'm not trying to pay for a month that I was told I would pay for.
Okay, all right. You got it.
Sure, I know this bill, when you came in, you paid in April, on April 15th.
Yep.
That bill would have been up until, through the March 31st reading, so your March 31st usage.
Then why did you tell me that I would be good at telling me?
I don't believe you did, but,
You
you
did.
know,
Yeah, there's,
then you would get another bill that would be due May.
yes, and I'm not saying that I don't owe that.
Okay.
I'm not saying that. I'm
And
saying,
that's what you do owe, is that.
but I'm getting the bill that I owe for April yet, which my
I
water
can
bills
certainly
haven't
sit
been.
down with you and go over the bill.
Well, I know that
you
my water bills
requested
haven't been, other than this month, my water bills haven't been over $100.
Your water was shut off and you had requested to have the late, or the shut off fee not
There
there.
were some,
And I brought it to
Yeah.
council,
And
and
there was
they
some
said
things that
no,
happened.
and then I called you,
You
and
never
I left a
called.
message on your
you never
machine.
left a message for me, ever.
I'm not gonna have them fight with you here, because this isn't the place for it, but, and then I'm certainly happy to sit down and go over the bills with you.
Then why wasn't I given a letter and said, you never left me a message on my message. I have messages from 3
I
months
did the
ago.
day after the meeting, because you and I had talked, and Ernie was there, and I had said I would bring it to council,
Yeah.
and the day after the council, I left you a message that said that the shut-off fee would remain on there because of, history.
You never made that call because I never got it. I can, like, literally, let you guys message after message, and no message from anybody from the city of Eagle. And like I said, I'm not just sitting here trying to say I've been good at paying my water bills. I haven't, and I know that, and I need to get better at it. I'm not saying that I have. But she told me I was good telling me, I don't know why she was denying this, because she said it great too.
I don't believe I said you were good with the bill, you would have gotten a bill on April 1st, that was
Yes, but you
May
said,
1st, and like I said, I'm not gonna, during public forum, I'm not gonna argue with you on it, but.
no.
And if that's if that's how you understood it to be, I apologize for that, I do.
There's nothing to
Apologize
apologize for that, and that's what was
Because
said.
we owe what we use our water for.
You know, and I'm not saying that I don't, I'm not
Okay.
trying to say that I don't know.
Oh, so what are you asking for?
Well, I'm trying to figure out, because I didn't know that you guys said no. I never got a phone call. I never had a message. So I'm sitting here wondering why a month I thought I was paid up to, why all of a sudden I'm paying it again, in my eyes.
Here's my policy on this, is that, my city staff, if they, I'm going to, unless somebody comes up with, with concrete proof that it didn't happen, I'm going to believe my city staff. So they've they've communicated with you, even if they left a phone message, or, they've sent letters, I'm going to side with that. Now, that's just my opinion. So with that being said, again, I'll ask the question, is there a specific ask that you're wanting?
Well,
or?
I'm just trying, like I said, I'm just trying to figure out what was going on here. Because like I said, I had, other than when I came in after the other 15, she said that somebody would call me saying that it didn't go through. I never got a phone call. I never got a message, so I didn't know. So I figured they did, just because I know the contact. So I'm just trying to figure out, well, okay. I mean, I have my history of phone calls. No phone calls from Eden Valley other than from my wife at Jack's or somebody when they called me today. First time I've ever got a phone call, other than 2 days ago, I think it was, just today. So as far as I knew, I was good till May. Like I said, I'm not trying to say I don't want to hold, because I know I do.
So would you be, if Cindy could get you, I'm assuming you got the records, and
Sure, I will let you know.
would you be willing to, you want to look at them, and then if it breaks it down, if it makes sense?
I understand, I understand like what they were. I'm not saying I did, but as far as I knew, I was paid until May. But, so I'm just trying to figure out, well, why didn't I get a phone call? I mean, you can believe that she did, but I never got a phone call. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys. I'm not that kind of person. I've never got a phone call, I never had a message, and I listen to my messages every day when I leave after work. Every day, because I have a few of them every day. So I mean, like I said, as far as I knew, I was good till then. And then all of a sudden I get a bill where I owe 128, now it's 148. And I thought I was good until me.
I mean, Cindy can give you what let you know exactly what you want, and just, go off that, we've switched to a monthly billing now.
Yeah, I know that.
And the bills come out,
I mean,
at the beginning of every month,
So can I at least ask that I have a little bit of time, because I may be leaving work for a while, I may be having surgery, so I'm not working my full capacity right now. So I mean, can I have a little bit of time to pay this up, at least? Being that I thought I was, and that's why it was kind of a surprise. And like I said, I didn't know that I still owed for April.
How much is the balance on the account?
$381.56, does that sound right? That'll include the June 1st bill that we just sent out. Because we just mailed out June 1st.
Yeah, I just
bill.
got that today,
Yeah.
literally just got that today.
Yeah, so that would be $381.56. Because his current May usage is $137.49 is the bill
Like I said,
from
two more people
the
moving to my house, my daughter, her boyfriend.
May, so.
All right, so what, again, if we were to grant you, a stay on this, give you some time on that, how much would you be willing to put down within the next 24 hours?
I could put at least a third of it, so what, 130, 140 right now. And then the rest in 2 weeks.
No,
Yeah. Does that sound okay?
yeah,
Okay.
I'm good with that.
All right, so within the next 24 hours, $130, we'll just put 130 and then the balance of it in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay, I can live with that.
Good.
All right,
And then you're good.
and then he's caught up.
Then he's
And
caught
June.
up, yeah, for the June billings that just went out as well, so.
Okay, then you'd be all caught up.
Okay.
Okay, I like that plan.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. All right, anybody else in public forum? All right, on to departments. Cindy?
I don't have anything, I did mine earlier.
All right. Ernie?
You got the monthly report, you have any questions on that? Let me see, we did all our ordinance stuff. For the most part, I think we're probably 95% good. We got a couple that we're still dealing with as far as garbage in the yards. Other than that's pretty good, I think we're sitting pretty good. I've checked them all, there's only a couple that we're trying to get them up to date. Other than that, Valley Days, getting prepared for Valley Days, getting all that stuff set, and let's get ready to have a celebration, I guess.
With the, Ernie, with the added, you know, the bigger events that the Valley Days community has planned this year, you're gonna be okay on
Well, we got,
some staff?
Pete's not gonna be here, he's got his guards that weekend.
Okay.
So, yeah, I got a guy that's hopefully gonna come in and work Friday night and Saturday night with us. So, yeah, we'll cover that, and, I've emailed both the counties already aware that we got some events coming in, maybe a little more people, so they're gonna kind of tool through the area too, so I think we should be okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we've addressed all that already, so we should be good.
Do you have a date for the national night out for the town?
First Tuesday in August, ain't it?
Always a
It's first Tuesday.
I was actually gonna probably throw something in the paper on that pretty soon, so throw the National Night Out website if somebody's interested. Usually the Sunny Meadows does the biggest one, maybe the only one. We had the year, we tried to get a jump started, you guys remember that, we kinda helped them through the process. But we'll put something on, if they wanna do, you know, we'll go by, me and the mayor, whatever, we'll do whatever to help out that night. We talked about doing a city one, but I just don't think, that kind of defeats the purpose of what National Night's all about. It's about getting together with your neighborhoods. So, I talked with Troy and I've talked a little bit, I think it's just better to leave it. If you wanna do one, we'll hit the neighborhoods. So we'll get something on the paper, I'll maybe talk to Ellery about it, so maybe we get something in there, just to remind people that's coming out in August.
Sure. Sounds like a plan.
Other than that, I don't have anything.
All right. Did you want to bring out the email from Harvey?
Oh, yeah, I seen that, actually, I was, I got it.
We tried to email, but it didn't work.
Well, I knew they were in town, and I'll tell you the truth, I actually switched to this service myself, so I'll use myself as an example. They never one time mentioned Arvig in the whole pitch ever. So, they talked about AT&T and DirecTV, not one time they mentioned Arvig. The only thing it says, you know, that they didn't supply internet unless you want to do it. And if you want to keep your phone, you'd be able to keep it through Arvig, that's up to you. But they weren't selling it as if they were co-conspirator of Arvig, they didn't do that with me anyway. So,
They came to your door.
they did, and I did talk to them about they're supposed to register with the city, I did bring that up. I talked to them right away about that, I said, hey, if you're gonna do anything in the city, you gotta register with City Hall. You need your license number, who you're working for, a contact person, you gotta register, so I did let them know to do that, I guess I didn't check with the city to see if that happened. But, the main guy thought they were already registered, because they've been here before, but, I did mention that to him. But as far as the letter goes, I never had him say any of that to me, and I'm just using myself as the example. So I don't know where the complaint came from, or who it is. It says on our,
from Watkins.
huh?
This was like from Leyden.
They've been,
Melrose.
Melrose and Freeport too.
Freeport.
So,
And they were in the Melrose one, they posed as an Arvig representative, and they were dressed in Arvig clothing. They did not have an Arvig van in front of that house, but they got entrance into the home. So, which is where all of our cable and stuff is, either in a garage or a house, and they got access into the home. And later, the owner discovered something that had been taken, and, you know.
and this, this might be a completely different deal, because the guys I dealt with had DirecTV and AT&T, I mean, they were all, they were legit. So I checked, this first thing they said, you got some identification, you know, I mean, the guy that came was DirecTV, he had a DirecTV,
But what this letter is, people who come and they claim to be Arvig.
so yeah, so we should put that out publicly, I mean, if anybody comes and they're using the name Clear Home, right? So, I mean, just let people know, don't let people in your house unless you check their credentials, you know, and ask the questions. I mean, people get a little trusting sometimes, but, and I think this is actually different than the people I dealt with. This sounds like a different deal, and it sounds like maybe not a good deal, so we need to get the word out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I already threw it out there in the banner tubes.
Okay.
Control that.
And just let the people know at home, if Eden Valley, you have to register within the city to do anything door to door, any of that stuff, you have to register with City Hall. That's our ordinances and that's our policy. You can't sell nothing in the city unless you register with the city clerk's office, period. That's just how it works. Just for this reason right here.
I think it's called what, a transient sales
Yeah.
permit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Girl Scout cookies exempt?
Troy?
I'm just asking.
Why do you gotta ask those questions?
No selling nothing unless you get that.
I would think Girl Scouts are okay with probably, unless, you know.
They bring the cookies with them now.
Yeah, we're okay probably.
Okay, I was just wondering. 'cause I
And the
like
Boy
Girl
Scouts bring off
They're
marks.
not
That's
Boy
right.
Well, you know, through the year, you'll see the van show up with the stereo equipment or the stakes or the, you know, I mean, there's stuff that rolls through all the time. So just so people know, if they stop, say you register with City Hall, because they have to register with us just for this reason. Because if something happens or something gets stolen in the house or whatever, then we have a name and a number and a contact. And if they know they have to register, it's gonna kill this type of thing right here, because they're not gonna do it if they know that we already know who they are. That's why we do it.
Yep, and if you're on, you know, if you're unsure and they come to the door and they, you know.
Call City Hall.
Call City Hall, ask them, you know.
Find out they're
ask
registered.
about it.
They have to register.
Yeah. So, all right, thanks, Ernie. Anybody got anything for Ernie? All right, and then on to, I've got something here too on the, in your packets, or I should say a supplemental packet, the Transportation Economic Development. The Meeker County EDA has recently contracted with a replacement to Dave Kruger, who used to be the executive director for the Meeker Development Corp. And they sent out an email to the board members about some upcoming grant opportunities. So what you have here is just their write-up of each of the different grants that the state provides. I thought it was worthwhile sending to council and our own Eden Valley EDA board. They do, the state is having a informational session or a learning session throughout the different parts of the state. The next one is next Tuesday, the June 11th in Wilmer. I'm actually planning on going to that, so I can, so I can ask some questions about this. But I figured something we could have in our tool belt, putting some type of incentive package so we could get those lots, get something built on those empty lots in town, or even get some additional commercial development going. So, any questions? Okay. All right, anybody have anything else?
At this water deal, what is the plan with the water not flowing? And what kind of timeline do we got to get it corrected? We're talking about, like, definitely hear these people that are here, but we're talking about getting it lowered. Talking about digging out the ditch to get it done. What's gonna happen? What is going to get done? You know, everybody's pointing fingers now at contractors and stuff like that. We need to get it done.
I think the one thing that we were looking, Cindy, you and me talked about it, is, reaching out to Radcliffe and posing that out to them. And, yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, at some point, a resolution has to be done. I don't want to be the one that jumps the gun and, we put the taxpayers on the hook to pay for something that we shouldn't be on the hook for at all.
The only thing we've been talking about is for a sense of thought out. And it's still hanging there.
We now
I
have,
know there was some big talking, a lot of talking going on, I know that.
we now got a quote on whatever that resolution was at the meeting that you made, Don, you made reference to on that resolution. And I contacted all of the players with the exception of Radcliffe, because I left him when he's in
California.
California. I left him a message just on, just this past Monday, so. And I haven't gotten back to him, he hasn't gotten back to me, so that's where it's at. It's now Dollar General, and at some point, if you have me, I certainly contact our attorney on whether or not, this is a private owner's land. And so, with our attorney, we are a player in this, and we own some land, just like the other residents own land there as well. But if we need to contact the city attorney to say what's our next move with the owner of the land that Dollar General sits on, because I don't think it's the owner of Dollar General, I think it's the owner of the land. I think that's right, but owns the land.
Is that what's gonna take to get this thing going?
Well, right now, that's where we're at. The county, no. The soil and water, no. The builder, BJ Bass, no. You know, the design was not flawed, says that group. The builder built it to the design, they didn't make a mistake, says that group. So I've gotten those, and now I'm to the owner of the land that the problem originates at. The problem is overflowing into other properties, but the problem originates with that owner, so that's where I'm at. Legally, I certainly can, I really wanted to talk to him first before then I call the city attorney to say, legally now what do we do? To get, if he said, yeah, send me the bill, have it done, then I don't need to call Adam, but, so that's what I'm waiting on right now, and then if he says, well, it's not my problem, it's, this is the way it is, well, then legally there's steps that we would need to take.
Whose part is it gonna be when the
Right.
house is flooded?
Right, that's right, so, and then it becomes a civil thing, so,
I mean, that's,
yeah.
I guess
absolutely.
my question is, and everybody had a very valiant, I mean, I get it, I'd be right with you if my house was there, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm very angry, very, very angry. The city promised on videotape that water flow would stay, and it is not.
So where is the water stopping? Is it stopping along the east side of the building, west side of the building, or the north side of the building? You know, when you guys had your power on, or all of the above?
Flip a coin.
All of the above.
So that's where we're at right now, is on our side, and then, pending what his response is, meaning the owner of the land. If you authorize me, then I can call Adam and involve him on that, on legally what, because some of this is a civil issue, it is a city issue, it's a civil issue. It's property owner to property owner. We may be one property owner that says we don't want water flowing in our land, or, Dennis talks about it going into his land and it's flooding, he's a property owner to another property owner, but what legally are we able to do, and at what point do we do it, so.
What's the estimate in fixing?
Do you remember what it was? 23?
2,300?
To do what was on there. Our hope is that it
It's a
fixes.
two-part thing, and
Yeah.
it's gonna alleviate a lot without taking their driveway out.
Whose driveway?
Dollar General.
But that's what it takes to
We
get
don't know if it's
to
gonna
get this
be
water
enough.
flow down.
Right.
It's
I know.
restricting, you gotta get it correct.
Why not?
June can be a very wet month, we've got wet spring. June can be a very wet month on top of what's sitting there right now. We can have some serious issues, more than what we got right now.
Well, I was expecting that to be a lot higher of a number.
That might just be a what if.
That's,
I mean, that's
not a
that's
toll. We don't know if that's a toll fix.
That's right. That's sort of.
We will drop the water at that, but it's been shot by, shot as in sort of
survey, or, yeah,
The camera.
Yes. And that's, we should be able to drop that quite a bit. Not guaranteeing it's gonna be enough without moving that driveway.
I just don't wanna sit here in another 30 days and nothing's done yet.
It's gotta be
It's gotta
solved
be
before
done now.
winter. It's gotta be solved.
It's gotta be solved before.
Way before.
Well, even before the next council meeting, something's gotta be done.
I don't know, I guess I'm almost of the opinion that it's $2,300.
Yeah, but
And you
I
gotta be
just,
careful.
I just gotta be careful.
Well, I
And you're
understand.
probably going the same direction.
Yeah.
We're setting a precedent
Right.
there.
Well, and I guess I'm also then of the opinion that the city tries to get a hold of Radcliffe again. And depending on what he says, I would like to authorize her to get a hold of the lawyer in the interest of keeping this moving. Because I don't want to pull it out of the month. And then find out.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think ultimately it goes back to, it flowed before, you have construction, don't flow now,
Right.
pretty obvious.
Mhm.
And, you know, I guess,
Yeah.
we all know that.
And they all just get silent.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
that's,
all-
I mean, it
they-
doesn't take a genius to figure out the water. like
They
that.
give you the blessing to go ahead and fix it,
Yeah.
then ask who's paying for it, Kodak.
That's how it always works.
Yeah, I know.
Well, can we do this? Get a hold of Radcliffe, give it one more try. If you get a hold of them, you know, and they say no, then we talk to our city attorney as a neighbor to, or actually a property owner that's affected. You know, so we'll do that on behalf of the property owner, you know, and the property owners too, because we're all together in this. In the meantime, would we be open to putting the wheels in motion to where it could just be as simple as that we just end up sending somebody the bill? We do it, and now we're just looking at a place to put the bill, or send the bill to. Would that be?
The lawyer should, yeah, but the lawyer should be able to answer that question.
Yeah, but I have the feeling that.
That's 2,300 is real simple. Now you get a lawyer involved.
Now you got it.
Now you got a lot more involved.
Just,
I
Yeah.
throwing that out.
If I call Radcliffe and whether he responds with a yes or a no, if he says yes, send me the bill and do the $2,300, that's step one in figuring out whether or not this fix. You know, this may be a short-term fix, and part of the conversation is to let him know that the long-term fix is his. He needs to get it fixed, and we certainly hear the neighbors, not only frustration, but anger, and the city council's anger, in that you guys were promised something and it's not happening. And it's up to him to get it fixed, but
It's
that
pretty
may
simple,
be
it
moving
worked
forward.
before and it doesn't work now.
Right.
It's so simple, but
Right.
you gotta get some politics involved.
And nobody wants to, yeah.
Then-
So, and then,
Can we also just as as a plan B, or plan C with this too, is just evaluate my idea of pumping the water out of there?
Gotta be
Why would
careful
you
doing
want to do that when you can spend that 2,300 instead of renting a pump?
Because then you're gonna man it fuel, and then I gotta deal with the permits.
Exactly.
Where you take it, and
You're better off
you
looking at
erosion,
2,300, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'll
just be honest with you.
I'm just throwing that out there.
My concern is with the residents, you know,
Yeah,
because
okay.
if there's something with their house, I mean, at the end of the day, that $2,300 is really.
Well, and that's where I'm going with this too, is that we can start providing some quicker relief in case, for whatever reason, the $2,300 fix.
I'm gonna say Radcliffe, that's gonna be a long drawn out deal,
I do too.
you know, and it's just not gonna alleviate their issues.
That's where I'm going with that.
The
is-
2,300 isn't going to.
No, but we do just, hey, let's get it done, because these people are gonna be the ones that are, obviously, we know it's their issue.
You're saying not get it done.
No, I'm
You're
saying get it
spe-
done.
Just get it
Just
done.
Just get it done, because,
Get it done, we'll figure out who pays the bill. I know.
Where's the
I see.
money coming from?
Oh.
Because 2,300, that's an easy answer. If that doesn't fix it, then it becomes what? And it may only be another 2,000 or 25,000 or
So what happens when their basements flood?
Right, what
Yeah,
happens
and
when
then
my
it's like
basement
23
floods?
bucks.
What happens with my furnace, my basement,
Oh.
and everything I have in my home?
Oh, no, no, we're
So
talking.
this is about-
I know,
about
hang
that.
on,
It's
hang
about-
on, time out. I
We
know
need
this,
to-
I know this is,
yeah.
I know this is a very heated subject, and I sympathize with you.
Yes.
I didn't even realize my sump pump wasn't even working, a couple weeks ago, and I had part of my basement actually flood. So I know what you guys are potentially looking at, that and worse. But I do ask that we try to look at this, approach this calmly, and we're gonna try our best to get this fixed. That's why that's why I threw out that option out there, is that, hey, we gotta drop that water out of there, we gotta drop the water. If the $2,300, if that fix will work, let's go with, let's do it.
It's gonna be alleviated a lot. Like I said, is it gonna be a total cure-all? We won't know until it gets dropped.
So make the motion to
Yeah.
move forward with the 2,300. I'll call Radcliffe. If he says no, we'll get this portion, we'll send him the bill. But to say that it's going to fix it all, we don't know that.
No, and I'm not,
Okay,
I'm the assumption it will.
That's why I was saying,
No, no, no,
let's not make
I'll be
that
honest with you,
statement.
I don't think it's gonna cure it. It will help, but it's not gonna
Right.
cure it,
Right, so,
But we gotta start
word
somewhere.
choice, yes.
We gotta do something with this, it's not getting better.
Ultimately, there's a design flaw.
I make a motion that we spend the 23, get a contractor in there and spend the 2,300 to cover this job.
Thank you.
Whatever that.
2,300?
That's long drawn out.
That's like, I made the motion.
All right, Dan with the motion, Pat's got the second. All in favor? Aye. Let's do it.
When you know, this contractor's so busy, when do you think, need somebody in there, you think, John?
To make it, no, I don't.
Next week?
I'll get on the horn right away tomorrow.
Yeah.
Marion, do you have a sump pump in your basement? I don't have one either.
Pretty sandy where I'm at though.
Pretty wet.
It's really big, it's wet, but I got poured walls too, I don't have block.
Yeah, mine's.
I never had water in my basement ever.
But I noticed on the-
I'm the one with the guy in the window.
All right, so, anything else? All right, so we've got an upcoming meeting, our next council meeting is on July 3rd, 2019.
One of the three? I even been contemplating my
Make that one,
It's like
Or do we
I'm
get-
on vacation, but I could come back.
Jamie,
can you?
will you?
Just kidding. Well, hey, we can move it to the next week, so that worked out better.
I would feel better if we moved it to.
All right, okay.
Next week.
Then we'll move the council meeting to July 10th at 7 p.m.
Well, then we need to notify the park board because,
Park needs,
they'll have to let 6.
Yep, that's fine. I'm sure they probably won't have an issue with moving
No,
themselves.
Randy
So-
said he'd call me in the morning to find out if you guys moved it from 3rd to the 10th.
He was already anticipating.
Yeah, we already talked
All
about
right.
it.
Okay, well, with that being said, I will go ahead and make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Back a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, good night.